Maybe the conditions were a little bit better yesterday when the sun was out and we hardly had any wind. There were some gusts. Other than that, I just try to keep my head high and do what I can.
Hello and welcome to round 3 of the 2024 MVP Open presented by OTB Discs. This is round 3, moving day of the MVP Open, the final championship. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're two hot geese.
Honk.
We have some heavy hitters for you today, some familiar names. Natalie Ryan joining the card. We've watched Missy own and Kristin play the last couple rounds. Natalie joining, she won in 2022. Obviously a big thrower. Kristin leading the way, 76% fairway hit, 69% circle tune regulation, and 83% C1X putting. Really looking so collected and professional in round 2, more than normal.
Missy Gannon having a good couple of weeks, 79% fairway hit, 65% circle 2 in regulation, 78% circle 1X putts.
Owen Scoggins, no stranger to lead card appearances, 61% fairway hit so far, 53% circle 2 in regulation. You know she's good from circle 2, and 96% C1X putting. That's a pretty amazing stat.
Natalie Ryan working her way onto the lead card, 68% fairway hit, 61% circle 2 in regulation, 77% circle 1X putting. She's throwing some really great scramble shots and some really committed high power shots. Let's start out with hole 1 at 695 feet. The last 2 days of the event, we're playing the long pin position where we have been playing this short pin in days 1 and 2. There's a new triple mando at the entrance to the rock wall. Normally you can potentially get lucky through the tree line on the right and left. Now you have to go through this big barn called Chipmunk Gate. The basket is in very typical Maple Hill fashion, perched with OB inside the bullseye.
Kristin shooting an 8 down yesterday. So did Holland Hanley. That is the course record. Pretty impressive. Conditions were good today. A little windy, but not bad. Not quite as warm as yesterday, but I mean, this is kind of the nicest conditions we've seen at Maple Hill in years. And this is a fantastic starting shot.
It was a right to left crosswind on hole 1.
From New York, Missy Gannon. New York.
If you were watching previous rounds, we did have a short pin position on 1 and a long pin position on 9 that has flip-flopped. We will play this long pin position on 1 today and tomorrow, Championship Sunday. I actually think that the birdie might be a little easier in the par 4 position if you get across. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I think it was before
the mando.
Yeah, they added the triple mando.
Owen Scoggins.
Also, the pin position is, there is OB to the left of it, literally inside the bullseye.
That's true.
It's kind of silly. You can't really get aggressive almost at all. You just have to throw it at the ground and slide up to the basket and hope you slide. But Maple Hill has a pretty rocky ground.
On squeaking over.
From Richmond, Virginia, Natalie Ryan.
Or if you have the power, it might be a good idea to land a little bit more right, but then you're playing with the Christmas trees. I think a forehand's the best way to go through the triple mando without bringing that out of bounds into play.
The nice thing is, because we have a shorter pin position than the MPO, if you throw just inside, it's like barely outside the circle.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you get, to the barn gate, what are we calling it? The Chipmunk Gate?
Mm-hmm.
You got to putt. Own up first. Yeah, this is a bit of a sketchy shot. It's so dead straight. It's, what do you think, like 2... I have no idea. I have no idea how far that is. It's a good shot. It's a pretty full rip.
It is 365 From one basket to
Oh,
another.
I guess that makes sense because the other pin position was 330.
Yeah, 330 to 695.
Okay, so full power shot from Own. She's a little bit right of the mandatory, but I don't believe she's missed it.
It says
Ooh,
it
Missy.
says it's 365, but I feel like it is not that far.
I mean, it is a little downhill.
Yeah, throwing it today, I threw a mid very comfortably to the mouth of the gap. There's no way I can throw a mid 365.
I don't know. You've been ripping them, dog. Kristin, missing the mandatory. She's going to have to go from the drop zone. It's a fair drop zone, I believe, just outside the circle. It's nice when you get the drop zone that you can potentially save the par. And Natalie, at a nice angle, able to throw more of a hyzer, but as Madison said, kind of throws it into the ground, makes sure she stays inbounds.
And so that would have technically been.
Where's the orange line?
Oh, the orange. Okay,
That's the line.
then you're that's on then you're good. I did not see the orange. Alright.
Oh, the string's the line? Yep.
So Owen has not missed the mandatory. She even kind of has a look here.
Going right at OB. Oof.
Solid run. Here's Natalie for a birdie.
Nice clean straight putt. Just a little bit low on the cage.
Natalie and Owen tied right now at 7 down. 4 strokes back of our leader here, Kristin Tattar. She's trying to save par. A little high. Kristin with the impressive feat of a bogey-free round. Not quite as impressive as Missy Gannon, though, who is 2 rounds bogey-free.
And starting off with a birdie today.
Mm-hmm. 2 rounds bogey-free at Maple. When do you think Missy's going to wake up from this dream she's in?
I don't know.
Or wait, are we all dream? I don't know how it works. Kristin going to card the bogey. Missy with the only birdie.
Missy 1 of 5 birdies today on hole 1.
Let's check in with the chase card. Paige throwing a fierce. Getting to just outside the circle. Really clean backhand. And a great putt. Looks like she's already 2 down through 4. Paige in a tie, in solo 3rd place with that 2 down. Hole 2 is a par 3, slightly uphill, 299 feet, but very reachable. I like a fairway driver. You want to throw something that generally turns through this. Missy might throw something dead straight. Whatever you do, try to avoid the rock wall that's out of bounds to the right, and you want to give it enough height to climb over that rock wall right there. That's at about, I would say, 45 feet or so, leaving yourself an uphill putt. It's not a bad place to land. Main mistake is not to saw it off too far to the left. Sometimes you're not left with much in those trees. But that's fine. Missy gonna have a long look.
I think the perfect shot shape for this hole is a forced turn, flexing shot like Owen throws right here. It just shapes up really nicely without bringing that rock wall into play.
Yeah. Owen's pretty much perfected this hole, it seems like, every day with that red destroyer. Natalie overturning it. Catches a tree. That was heading out of bounds. That was a good break. Still has a lot of work left to get around those trees, though, to save par. Oh, yeah. Nice gentle turn from Kristin on that St. Pro the whole way. It's a bit of a risky shot with that OB. Natalie making sure to turn it a lot. And checks up.
Missy from the rock wall. Kind of a half bid, not going too crazy.
Owen for birdie. That 96% just went down to about 94.
The wind definitely picked up on the screen a little bit when my card came through as well. Kristin's still going to take the birdie. Only one on the lead card.
How many other birdies were there today?
11 birdies on this card today. A nice recovery from Natalie Ryan to get the par.
And just a few tap ins for par here. Yeah, you definitely felt the wind a bit more on the front nine than we have in previous days. Looks like Rebecca Cox and Haley King are doing really well. 2-3 down through 9 holes.
Here's hole 3. It's 354 feet on the book, but plays more like almost 400 feet. It's really difficult to get up and get yourself a putt inside the circle. I think only 3 people managed to do that yesterday. It's a very specific shot shape. We didn't have much wind to worry about today. It's mostly just about trusting your disc. I like a force turn on this hole to get all the way there, but a hyzer flip is a safer play because bailing out to the right late in the fairway is a good move.
Go ahead.
Hitting early is really brutal. There's no out of bounds though, so even if you don't cross that rock wall, you can still play from there.
That was a very late release from Kristin, and I think she dropped straight down and it's going to have those trees right in her way. Missy squeaking through that left side nicely. She'll be happy with that result. Yeah, the force turn's definitely the play, but you got to miss that one tree. Ooh. Beautiful shot from Owen. Nearly inside the circle. I think we've only seen, 1 or 2 people land in the circle per day? Something like that?
Yeah. Today, only 3 people managed to do it. In order to get there, you have to throw really hard, and it's pretty typical to see what Natalie and Kristin both did, trying to throw the disc as hard as you can.
Natalie in a terrible spot here. Wow, she gets a lot of power, but gets caught up. That's not even going to be the easiest scramble.
Kristin just has to keep it in the middle here. She could potentially even get up and down. Ooh.
Huh.
Kind of surprised to see her go so big here. I feel like she's really good at the smart play. Maybe just chipping up a forehand and settling for a bogey here.
Whoa. Natalie taking a piece of that tree with her. I think she's inside the circle, but a long putt for bogey. Kristin, still a lot of work left to do, trying to get up there for a bogey.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Really nice panning forehand.
Love watching that flight. Missy for potentially a couple strokes on her card mates. Solid effort. Par's great. The story for me is just, can Missy Gannon make it through 4 rounds at Maple Hill without a bogey? I don't even care about anything else.
Oh, man.
This hole does produce a lot of rollaways.
Let's see if Owen can get a birdie. There were only 3 birdies today on hole 3. Haley King parked the hole. She's got this one figured out.
Yeah, she did that yesterday, right?
Yep. Rebecca Cox and Haiti Line with birdie putts inside the circle. Oh, Natalie a little shook right now.
Yeah, a lot of pressure from Natalie. I'm sure, you know, winning this once. Well, I have no idea what that's like. I'm sure there's pressure. And a triple bogey is not how you want to go on lead card, you know, wherever. Let's move on. Paige having a good round ahead on the 7th, a new hole. Oh, wow. What a beautiful flight. She does catch a late tree. But she's inside the circle. That's much more of an uphill putt than it looks.
I think the Blackwell Pro is the best practice basket I ever had at home. What I love most about this basket is that it catches really well. It's kind of exactly what you want. If you're looking for a great solution for a practice basket, Blackwell Pro.
Hole 4. Short but treacherous. Par 3, 246 feet. Teeny tiny gap you got to get through. You can go straight at it. We saw Paige Pierce go straight with a backhand. I like a forehand. There's a kind of right side hyzer gap that doesn't always get you in the circle, but might be the best way to get a longer look or a par. If you hit one of the first trees, you are suddenly looking at a much longer hole than 246 feet, let me tell you. It's fun to watch the variety of gameplays here. You see a lot of people go right from that corner standstill. You see run-ups. You see all sorts of things.
Missy put the disc a lot wider yesterday, came in much earlier, got a little lucky up the middle. She's going to be putting from outside the circle. I took a peek at the right side play that they're throwing here. Owen going up the middle. Oh, was she not trying to?
I don't know. She's gone right side. It's kind of...
I took a look at that play today and because I was like, oh, maybe I'll check it out because it looked so easy on video. But
it's hard.
It's very hard. It's very, very tight. I like this play from Kristin. This is what I try to do as well.
The only real benefit of that right side play is it's an easier initial gap to hit. And then...
Is it?
Like
Just looks so
you're
narrow.
almost never going to hit the first trees of the first gap.
Ooh.
Except Natalie just did. Almost never. And then like where you drop, it tends to be pretty easy to save a par.
Natalie showing us the opposite of both of those things.
I don't,
immediately.
I don't know. It's Maple Hill.
It is Maple
You
Hill.
never know what's going to happen. That was a fantastic recovery. Do you go forehand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With like a stable glidey putter.
Mm-hmm.
And it works great.
Yeah, I like the forehand now that I'm brave enough to throw it. Kristin with a nice upshot. Owen, that looked like a run. She gets caught up pretty deep in circle two, though, on the gnome tree.
Oh, off the top of the cage.
Ooh, I wonder if she'll have a putt from there.
Yeah, it can be very obstructed past the basket, both right and left. Ooh, Missy running that one pretty hard. Fortunate to settle up.
Natalie for a par save. Definitely wanting to get this after that triple. Quite a tester.
I'm just not quite as committed on her putts. Had some putting woes on hole 3, and it's hard to not let those carry over.
Okay, I landed here and it...
Oh my God.
I was going to say, it makes me happy that Owen also does it. Not happy, but there's just nothing over there, which sucks because you're only 20 feet away. I can't believe she committed to this and it looks perfect.
That 100% was all the way in and should have stuck.
True Jomez. Kristin for a par, her first of the round. Solid putt.
There were 11 birdies on hole 4. Raven Klein parking the hole.
Dang. Owen did not deserve that double. It's like Paige, Pearson, solo third, Ella Hansen, Raven Klein, all making moves up the leaderboard.
Hole 5, I wish I could say this was a hole where you could make moves, but it absolutely isn't unless you have the huge hyzer forehand. I think the only way to reliably get to this green. Some people do have the magic backhand turnover, but it is a really, really scary and super committed shot, very easy to mess up. If you do catch any of those trees and go into the water, there is a pretty difficult drop zone, just sketchy more than anything. You see a lot of players going up this right side that Missy Gannon is taking here, kind of a poke and hope. You can't see the gap at all. There's checkerboarded trees. Not one good way to get there. It's just throw and maybe you get through and maybe you have a really, really difficult approach shot.
Yeah, Missy gets through about as well as you're ever going to. Kristin made it yesterday, but left it pretty far and had an obstructed putt. Really great shot, but not totally rewarded. She kind of gets a backwards roll into some stuff.
The middle gap is a viable option as well, but it is probably the most sketchy of the gaps because it is so narrow, and if you catch any of those trees on the left side, you're basically guaranteed to go in the water OB.
Surprised to see 2 of our 4 lead card competitors go that route.
Was Natalie trying to?
I think
Was she?
I guess it's hard to say.
Yeah.
She maybe didn't fully make the decision. She squared up that middle tree, but definitely early, but it almost worked. Natalie on tilt a little bit here. Let's keep the streak alive, Missy. No pressure. We're all counting on you. Nice up.
Yeah, Missy doing what you have to do here. Just pitch up to circle 1. Don't even try to get to the basket.
Owen basing it for tap in par.
This is a par 3 that I feel like could almost use a makeover.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see more and more people take that gap. It just doesn't feel like one of those holes that we're going to see that.
Yeah.
I think we would have already.
I don't mind, again, like a challenging par 3 that's, more based on the approach than anything else, but I find us saying that a lot at Maple Hill. Oh, and
yeah.
A long par 3. Oops, another long par 3.
Yeah. Well, there's just a little too many trees in the way. I mean, they're
No.
Missy, no.
Not on this one.
I mean, they're just trying to force you to go out and around, I
Yeah.
think, which I get. Dang, Missy. Okay, well, pressure's off. Now none of us care what happens.
All right, signing off. This played as the 3rd most difficult hole. That's just...
What is that? 40 holes of no bogeys? Let's honestly celebrate that. That's amazing, Missy.
That's crazy.
And some quick math, I'm just saying. Paige ahead on hole 8. Leaving it really wide. You got to get a little lucky through these trees taking that route, and boy, does she. And we got the big flags. We got the full routine on hole 8 today.
We love the big spotter flags.
I like the handoff that they do, like the toss of the flag. Yes, please.
They have all kinds of choreographed moves.
No one on lead card under par today.
Maple Hill.
Maple Hill. Hole 6 is a par 3, 310 feet. OB rock wall on the right, OB water on the left. There's more room to work on the left than the right. We've seen some backhand straight shots start to work a little bit more than in years past, especially because they kind of cleared out the left side in particular. So you see dead straight shots, you see some flip ups, you see some sketchy stuff happening. If you're going to make a mistake, a little bit to the left is the way to do it. If you want to get there as a right-handed player, I love this flex forehand line. That's looking fantastic.
So often you see the disc catch that last tree. You're left with a circle 2 putt that we don't love.
Yeah, and it's so hard to do it much better than that. Ooh, Own really wide out of her hand in a bad kick.
Yeah, it's not great in there.
Looks terrible in there.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like a lot of spindly little trees. Missy, oh man, everyone's struggling today. See if Natalie can get through cleanly.
Ooh, a really pretty hyzer flip going up that left side. It's wide open over on that side of the green, so she's even going to have a putt from just a step outside the circle.
A great shot. Natalie throwing a pearl splash there. Missy going forehand in the more open gap. And a great shot. Good power. Oh, man. Does have... She picked that tiny gap. Wow.
It's the shape of her flight.
Yeah, good shot. Good commitment. Looks like she might be lined up to that V. This is always such a bummer when you get up there and you just have no real putt.
Yeah, just forced to lay up to the circle.
Natalie for birdie. Oh, yeah, there we go.
There
Get
she
her round
is.
going. Ooh, and a Jomez.
Right at OB, digging deep.
Nice committed putt. A little low left, but hey. I think this only had 2 birdies yesterday.
Yep, today there were 6 birdies, more
Nice.
than we normally see.
Yeah.
3 of those birdies circle 2 putts.
Wow. Own unable to get through cleanly, but checks up fine. Missy splitting the trees. Starting a new par streak for the rest of the tournament. Or bogey free, rather.
Still a little bit of work for Own, but she manages to get the bogey.
Kristin with a couple pars in a row. Missy leading the card with an even par. Paige now in second, above Missy, Holland, Ella, Rebecca Cox, Annika Sten. A lot of people doing some work out here.
Hole 7 is a new hole. I really like this change. 352 plays pretty true to the distance. After you go up this little hill and push forward straight for a little while, maybe get a little turn to the right, you want to fade gently on this sloped green. The left side of the green is steeper than it looks on camera when you're putting from the high side of the circle. It's a pretty sketchy little downhill putt.
Indeed. Natalie clean through the first gap. She's pushing the right side a little bit, but she gets through everything. I think she's in circle 2, kind of deep down the hill. Kristin early.
Way early. Kicks hard left. You can still recover from over there by throwing down the gravel road.
Yeah, usually a forehand.
Yeah, you just gotta get a little lucky at the end. Missy with a nice committed straight shot with that nice left finish at the end. She'll be on the high side of the green.
Oh, beautiful
Tough
shot. Definitely a tough putt.
Own going forehand on a very difficult backhand hole.
Out there.
Maybe just playing for par
Yeah,
or trusting her
Putting
circle 2
abilities,
putt.
yeah.
I mean, she's got it.
yeah, I don't quite see how to get a forehand to this hole.
mean, maybe she is just trying to get a long look. Kristin's so far left that she's throwing actually. Oh, my gosh.
Did she hit the basket?
Yeah, she did. She was going diagonal across the road. Can she see the flags or no?
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's one way to do it. That might be one of the funniest reaction cams I've ever seen. Just like one slow blink.
Disgruntled Kristin is in the house.
Own with a solid run from that distance. Easy par. Natalie for back-to-back birdies from distance. 55. 60. It's far. It's going to be a par.
There were 7 birdies on this hole today. Let's see if Missy Gannon can get one on our lead card.
On this little basket. Ooh, yes.
She struggled with this putt yesterday. Love to see her capitalize today.
For real, the other camera angle is like an optical illusion. Made it look so much farther. And Missy with that birdie going to be our only lead card. Lady under par at the moment. Bit of a slow start on moving day, but there's lots of birdies out there. Let's check in with the chase card. Paige Pierce on hole 10, super uphill. Oh, wow. That takes a lot of power. It says 276, but you probably need, what, 400 to get up there?
Yeah, that's a tough putt as well. Very steep uphill with that little knob on the castle wall in the way. Little wind on that green today as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, check it. 4 down now. Paige in a tie for first with Kristin, who's 1 over par. Ella Hansen also at that 4 down number. Hole 8, par 3, 299 feet. You got to clear about 280 of it to land on this island green. Anything that doesn't come to rest inbounds goes to a drop zone. That puts straight at the water. Very risky. You see a lot of layups, but boy, is it fun to go for it. We love the crowd out here. Let's see them. And it's Saturday. We're feeling it. The 8 holes, everybody. Missy up first. She's been piping this Thrasher and getting on the island every day, and today is no different. Watch this exchange.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, imagine that exchange.
How do we cut right there?
Just imagine it.
Natalie with a follow-through spin.
Wow, really nice shot. She's able to go slow speed Pearl Nautilus, so it comes to rest nice and easy on the green. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's a Pearl Splash. Nautilus was the last hole.
Kristin going a lot higher, trusting this disc.
Yeah, more room on the left than the right. OTB. OTB. All right, can we do 4 for 4 safe on the island? Is that a chance? Oh, wow. Within inches of that tree, and she parks it, and there's the exchange. You think Kristin's thinking about that bucket of candy?
Yeah. Sweet tooth and overdrive.
Just outside the circle, she comes up a little low. Kind of the rare par Most of the time you make the island, you see the birdie.
Half the field birdieing this hole today. Missy, one of them.
2 for 2. Gaining some momentum.
Soaking it in with the 8 holes.
Natalie close enough to go left-handed tap-in. I learned something. I knew that she does left-handed tap-ins, but she is actually left-handed and chose to learn disc golf as a right-handed player.
Really?
Because that's how most courses are designed. Yeah. 3 for 4 birdies, not too shabby.
Big snake right there.
Is that how Missy's so good? She doesn't eat candy?
Maybe.
She just walked right by it like it didn't exist.
Do you think she grabbed some when we weren't looking? I can't
hope
believe.
so.
I hope Tom grabbed some for
I'm
her.
automatically suspicious that she didn't even grab any candy. Like, what? Here is hole 9 to wrap things up on the front on moving day. We are back to the short pin position, the A pin, I believe it's called. It's back to a par 4 as well instead of a par 5. We've seen this hole for many years. You just got to get up to the top of the hill where you can at least see the basket and then decide whether you want to run it or not out of bounds in the little moat just before the basket, and then to the right, of course, in the lake. There is some room deep. So if you're going to go for it, come in hot. Some obstructed putts on the comeback is pretty normal. I love this hole for the FPO field.
Yeah, it is really good for us. And Missy has been doing this play successfully for the longer pin position. And I think more ladies are getting more aggressive off the tee, trying to crest the hill and pushing deeper than we've seen. It seems to be working.
Yeah, I think a lot more people tried it this year just to maybe give themselves a chance to go for it on the par 5. And then they realize, oh, actually, I can do this for the par 4. And it makes everything easier.
Yeah, there's more room than it looks. I mean, there's a lot of trees over there, but it's workable. Yeah, Owen also trying to just blast one up there. I think she maybe caught the top of the hill.
I think we've seen a lot of people trying to throw distance drivers as well, and everyone's sort of figuring out like, oh, I only need a slow fairway or maybe even a mid-range to get up to the top of this hill and crest. You just don't have to get that much farther in order to have a pretty straightforward shot to the green.
Straightforward, but a little nerve-wracking. You kind of have to float it down there. You can't let it finish one way or the other too much, or you could just spin it down there so hard. But this is also usually will blast past the basket, and there's a lot of room in the back, more room than the sides. Owen, pretty fortunate to check up like that. This is more the typical play where you kind of float something, and Missy not even trying to get all the way down there. Okay, speed control, name of the game.
Kristin throwing a forehand here. Not many people doing this.
Wow,
Almost throws it in.
Looking for that throw-in today. Great shot. And that's the kind of touch I was talking about.
Speaking of throw-ins, I forgot to shout out Hannah Manis on hole 5 for her throw-in for 2. It was sick.
On 5? Nice.
On the elevated basket.
Cool. Missy probably giving this a little bit of a run. She's, maybe 100 feet away? Pretty good bid.
This played as the second easiest hole today. That's wild. This used to always play as one of the hardest holes. It's crazy. You make it harder and suddenly this hole's easy.
Yeah, let's make it a par 5. Oh, we're so good at the par 4 now. Natalie, after catching that tree on her approach, gonna have to settle for a par after a great drive. Oh, Kristin, left side on the putt. Was a little bit obstructed, but that's a pretty short one to miss. Owen, good for it. 2 birdies in a row now, getting some momentum at the end of the front 9.
A bunch of pars. There were 20 birdies on this hole today. Feels a little bit like one you got to at least have a putt for. 20. Over half
Out
the
of
field.
37?
Oh, whoa. I was on hole 8. My bad. There were 6 birdies.
Oh my gosh, okay.
I was like, dang.
Oh my god, it's time to quit. Ella Hansen having a great round on third card. Crest the hill on the 12th.
It also wasn't the second easiest hole. It was the 5th hardest.
Oh my gosh, okay.
I'm so sorry. I was on the wrong hole. My bad.
I'm going to stop my existential spiraling.
Yeah. Ella Hansen and Kat Murch throwing some approaches.
Kat,
Oh,
with a great putt
and
for
a
a birdie.
sick shirt.
And a very bouncy hairdo, which I like. Look how
Ella.
queen of a round Ella's having.
She's moving on moving day.
Doing what you gotta do. Paige Pierce in a tie for the lead with Missy Gannon and Kristin Tattar, 10 down overall. Ella Hansen 2 strokes back, 5 down through 12. Holland Hanley in the mix. Owen sliding back in that tie for 5th. Wow. It's pretty dang tight on moving day in the
Yeah.
top 10 or so.
Some people doing it, but they're kind of sprinkled throughout the leaderboard. It's not just isolated at the top like we're used to seeing at many courses. It's kind of very Maple Hill of the scoreboard.
It really is.
You never quite know what you're going to do out there. Sometimes it feels like it doesn't even matter how good you're playing. It's just you're kind of at the mercy of the trees.
That is kind of what the intro was in round 1, if you didn't watch that.
Yeah.
You just gotta take the punches as they come, get your birdies where you can. We got 9 more holes in round 3. Come join us on the back. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your 2 hotkeys.